Alright guys, so here we have a Freightliner Cascadia, and most of the time when I do a winch out on a Freightliner with these Freightliner toe pins, you guys see that struggle that you just saw where the strap falls down, and that leads to comments from you guys saying, Trent, why don't you just flip the hook like this? It'll save all your problems. I mean, look, put the strap in, it's going to stay exactly like that. Well, there's a problem with that, and I'm here to explain why I refrain from putting the toe hook like this. So as you can see here, there are two ways that you can put your Freightliner toe pins into the Freightliner truck. It's a simple design. You put it in the hole, push it in, and lock it in place. This one's locked down, that one's locked up. The reason that we lock it down, okay, so there's a phenomenon in the towing or anything lifting related called tip loading. And what that's referring to is actually loading the tip of this hook. It's called tip loading again. And essentially what that is as you can see, this is thinner than the throat of the hook. This would be referred to as the throat of the hook. This would be referred to as the tip of the hook. What you want to do is you do not want to load the tip of the hook because, like I said, this is thinner and that results in it being weaker. So you always want to load the throat of the hook. Okay, so in this instance here, we have the hooks flipped up. And I'm going to show you that even though it's easy to hook it like that, and easy to hook it like that, don't need to fight it to keep it on the hook. Once you put tension on it, and just keep in mind that anytime that we use the wreckers, we're always going to have a slight upward pull. 95% of our pulls are going to be from an upward angle. So Alex, go ahead and pan to the hooks, and as you can see, the hooks are extremely tip loaded right now, and I don't even have a very high of a boom angle essentially. Okay, so we have Alex here pulling just like I was, and I'm going to explain a little further here. So as you can see, he's pulling on it at the angle that a wrecker would essentially pull on it, from an upward angle 95% of the time. And as you can see, check out the hooks here. Notice how all the load is right here in the tip of the hook. That results in a very weak link. Might get you by, might suffice for a few winch outs, but eventually that hook is going to get overloaded and it's going to snap real quick. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to show you the hooks flip down like I would do on like the 95th percentile winch out, and we'll show you just what we're dealing with here. So as you can see, the hooks are flipped down, and although I'm going to have to kind of finesse it a little bit to get this strap to stay, once it's under tension, which I'll do right now, once it's under tension and an upward pull. Okay, so as you can see here with the flip down hooks, even though it takes a little bit of extra work, once you put tension on it, and keep in mind we're only putting hand tension on this, but as you can see, it is in the throat much better than if the hooks were flipped the other way. It would be tip loading it a lot more severe than it is. So that's why we do what we do. There is reasoning behind it. Okay, so we also, now that we set everything on the ground, we also want to talk about the rigging and why we do this particular setup for most pulls. Once you begin to side load these pins, they start degrading quite fast. So in doing this setup here, the hook is terminated to this master link, and what this master link allows for these hooks is it allows the pull to be spread out evenly between these two pins. So no matter the angle, whether you're straight in line with the truck and you're pulling it or you're slightly offset, this master link is going to travel either left or right, and it's going to find center, and it's going to apply, let's just put numbers to it, let's say 20,000 pounds on this leg and 20,000 pounds on that leg of the strap, hence loading this 20,000 pounds and that 20,000 pounds. Compare that to, say, an operator who decides to run, instead of this setup, he runs one cable here and one cable there. No matter how good of an operator you are, you will not, and I repeat, will not be able to evenly load each hook. No matter how good you are, the one hook will always be loaded more than the other. So this here allows for even loading of each hook, and it is, in my opinion, one of the safest ways to pull a truck out without one, tip loading the hooks and reducing the excessive force applied on one individual hook. All right guys, well hopefully this explanation kind of explains why, the reasoning behind this. Once again, to reiterate, this upward facing hook, although it's easy, you can slap the strap straight into there, there is an underlying reasoning why we do not pull trucks from that. Once again, this is the 95 percentile of winch outs. If you do have the one-off scenario where you're pulling a truck and your truck's actually lower than the truck that you're pulling, this might be something that you're going to want to use. But for, you know, once again, 95% of the winch outs that we're doing, the hook down is probably the route that we're going to want to take. Once again, this route with the hook down, although it takes a little bit of finessing to get that strap to sit where you want it before you put tension on it, this is a much safer method than the hook up, because you are not tip loading the hook. You're actually putting the load within the throat of the hook. And then once again, speaking about the rigging here, this provides even loading on each hook from a centered pull point that's going to find center. It's never going to overload one side of your hook. So with that being said, guys, hopefully that clears up some questions that you guys had. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and learned something from it. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the video. See you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.